Hey guys, what is up? What's literally going on out there today? It is Brent Abel with tennis.com, another episode of What's the Right Shot. Today we're working on, again, second serve and volley. And just because I want you to start thinking that you don't have to hit a great first serve to be able to be effective with serve and volley. You can play, just like we talked about yesterday, you can play a top spin second serve that gets up a little bit so that it's got a little bit of bounce, gets up out of that player's strike zone. And as you can see it here, this one, again, like yesterday was in the deuce court, today's in the ad court. We're getting it to bounce up out of the really waist time, perfect strike zone for that opponent. It's up about shoulder high, right? And so they're not going to, I'm not saying that they can't hit a winner up the line or cross court and, hit an outright return to serve winner. They can do that. But most of the time, they're not. And when they do, we're just going to go, okay, that's fine. One time, no big deal. All right, look, transitional shot. You don't know what you're going to get. So, look, I mean, you can't go from the baseline all the way up into the service line before you split step. You got to split here so that you know which side you're going to play your transitional shot from. Is it going to be a forehand or is it going to be a backhand? Well, as we've already seen, it's going to be a backhand, right? And so I'm going to tell you shot choice-wise, with this, I'm probably not going to play it over here because you got to play that inside-out backhand volley. That is tough. And you can make it, but you know what? Typically what happens is that kind of swing path, that kind of spin, it just sits up. Yes, could you take this and maybe take one more step forward as you're getting out of the way? I think so. Be able to have a higher point of contact in terms of geometry of the top of the net. Yeah, and from anywhere in here, you could probably play it deep. For whatever reason, on this one, I didn't get that step in, so the ball's down lower. So I'm thinking now, well, what's the best geometry? What's the best geometry? And that best geometry for me is the lowest part of the net. Let's go right back up the middle. Whatever shot you play anyway, whether it's up the line, up the middle, or cross court, the guy's probably going to make a play on it. And that's okay, right? So look, would I have loved to have been able to play this thing deeper? Of course. However, here's what happens. My mindset is that, all right, I'm going to give him a cross court inside the line here. I will give him up the line inside here. Even though this looks like it's wide open, it's not. Man, the pressure that you put on someone by being in this part of the court, right there at the tee, and saying, dude, pass me. I'll give you that little 10% over there. I'll give you a little 10% up the line. Fine. But the rest of the court, the rest of the 80% of the court, I'm going to work my fanny off to come out of the split step to be able to just outquick whatever you play. And what happens here is, all right, now I get a ball. Yeah, it's a good top spin passing. It's down low. But what shot would you play? Well, for me, when I get this down low, and I'm just, for whatever reason, on this particular volley, I'm just thinking drop volley. I'm just thinking, let's go ahead. Let's take our chances on it. Let's see what we can get. And here he goes, right? Now, look, I'm going to tell you why the drop volley worked here. It wasn't the greatest drop volley in the history of the world. It wasn't, a Carlito Alcaraz level drop volley. But I'm going to tell you why it worked. And I tell you this on every shot in the game. The earlier the racket prep you can make, the more disguise that you can show this guy to where he's not 100% sure what you're going to play, right? So could you play a cross-court deep volley from this position? Yep, you sure could. Could you play a deep forehand volley right back up the middle to guy's feet? You sure could. I would say that he's probably guessing, look, he's not going to carve this thing up the line. He could, but that's a tough shot. And so he's got to be thinking about those two volley possibilities. For me, I'm just going to go ahead and look, how do you hit this thing? Well, all I can tell you is that you've got to go out there and hit about 582 of these, right? Get someone over there who has got a basket or a bucket of balls. And the way that you work this, this is feel, right? This is total feel. And the only way you can develop feel is by someone feeding you from right here. So here's the drill, is you start right about here. You start right about here. He drops the ball. He doesn't hit it out of his hand, right? He drops it so you can move forward. And right as he's making contact or a hair afterwards, you can go into your split step and just say, hey, hit me a boatload of topspin forehands, and you just start working the feel, right? You start working, well, what's the grip pressure? How strong is it? How light is it, right? And you just start to get a feel for it. And there's no other way of doing it. I mean, I don't care how articulate a coach is, they can tell you exactly what you have to do technique-wise, but until you hit 582 of them, you still got to develop the feel for this shot right here. Look, what I've got for you is a recently new edition, a premium edition of What's the Right Shot. It's for members only. And what we do is what I'm just describing. We work on swing tech. What is the technique to be able to, in this episode of What's the Right Shot, we worked a lot of swing tech on that drop volley right there. There's two things in there that we really zeroed in on how to speed up the 582 to where you start to really have a clear path as to how to develop the feel, the two technical parts of that drop volley right there. There's a button right down below the video. It's called Join, and get signed up. Each one of these is less than $1 an episode. It's a monthly charge, but it ends up being less than $1 an episode for the swing tech portion of each one of the What's the Right Shot episodes. All right, guys, that button is down below called Join. Click it and get started. Get inside the premium members area and where we work on swing tech. That's it for me today. Hope this has been helpful. Let me know what's on your mind. Right down below, any comments, questions, let me know. And as always, Tom, got to get out there. Help someone else. Have a great day, guys. I will see you again next time. Hey, look, if you're an ultra competitive age group player and you've been working your fanny off, working like a dog, trying to figure out how are you going to play up and win at that next skill level, wherever you currently are, you're not getting the results you want. You're just not getting it figured out. I'm here to help you. What I've got for you are 3 different one-on-one private coaching programs. These are not group sessions. This is just the two of us working together. Number 1 is stroke technique consistency. I want to take a look at that one shot in your game that you feel is falling apart at just the wrong times in your matches. I want to take a look at it. I'm going to tell you how to clean it up so that you can be consistent with it and super confident at any point in your match. Number 2, maybe you need to start making smarter shot choices. Stroke technique is fine, but you're just throwing it over there to the wrong spot at the wrong time. Let's start making some smarter shot choices and some better court positioning. Maybe it's mindset training. For me, this was the big difference maker in my game. I had to stop asking why. Right? Why am I getting tight at these certain moments? I had to stop asking that question and instead really start to build some mental skills off the court on a daily basis. If any of these 3 resonate with you and you think that it might help you get to that next skill level, the best way for us to start is with a free 15-minute, what I call a discovery phone call. You're going to lay it out there for me, what's going on with your game, what you've tried, what's not really worked. And I'm going to tell you whether or not I think I can help you and suggest a program that we can get started with. So the best way to do that, to get started, is right down below. There's a link that will take you to my online calendar. Just cherry pick a date and time that works best for you, and we can get started there. Looking forward to helping you. Right down below in the description area, click that link, schedule that free discovery call, and we can get started right away.